Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of Modern Media Review. I'm Robin Gibson.
And I'm Sean Goligly.
And even though it seems like January's been going on for a hell of a long time, we're going to talk about Veganuary and Dry January because these bedfellows in abstinence are only halfway through.
Well, in the old days, well, not even the old days, but a few years ago, the template for the media would be find something for January which involved getting beach body fit, because, well, you were always buying your cut price package holidays in January.
Were you doing that? I wasn't.
Well, you know, I'm sure you were trekking in Nepal.
What do you take me for? Some sort of trendy hippie?
Some sort of vegetarian trendy person.
Well, I'm vegetarian, although admittedly not vegan. And it does make me feel like a bit inadequate nowadays because veganism's become so fashionable.
Well, you're only halfway there, I guess.
It's sort of taken over the media, all this obsession with... it's not just diet, is it? It's saving the planet. There's a big news story just today. Even Nicky Campbell binned off Brexit from his phone in this morning to talk about it, where you're meant to save the planet by cutting down on cow methane gas, not consuming it, cutting down on the things you eat that cause cows to exude methane gas. And then you're meant to eat like one bit of meat on a Tuesday and a bit of lobster on a Friday and a bit of octopus on a Sunday.
And obviously no gin at all.
Well, they didn't mix this up with Dry January.
It's just us, isn't it?
They're two different things, but they do seem particularly British in a way.
That you always have to punish yourself with abstinence rather than...
Self-flagellation.
Yeah.
It's very Presbyterian, is that the word?
It is, yeah, puritanical.
Yeah, but I was wondering, right, is it actually peculiarly British? And I sort of had a look for Dry January because I thought, well, maybe something like that comes from the US because they're quite big on their abstinence in a lot of ways.
Sounds very Californian, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not. The first mention of it could find us in Finland, who organised Sober January in 1942, which was part of the war effort. And they probably needed to be sober because they were fighting on both sides.
It just begs the question of when they were fighting Soviets first, I believe, and then a little bit late to the day in 1944 they switched sides.
They joined up with this quaintly titled Axis powers to fight the Soviet Union. That's probably when they were drunk. And then later on they joined up with the Allies and fought the Nazis, which was good of them. But anyway, I mean, I don't know if they still do it in Finland anymore. It's become quite a thing here because apparently in the first year of it here there was 17,000, which is next to nothing, isn't it, doing Dry January. And now, according to YouGov, who I always believe, 3.1 million people are trying to do it this year. Trying to do it being the operative word, I should think. Well, I don't know the figures, but I'd imagine a lot of people give up after a couple of days.
Well, I know a few people are doing it in a very sort of health conscious way, and two of them have already fallen off the wagon.
Well, you personally know two people?
Yeah.
Really? I haven't done
Sometimes I know more than two people.
I'm having Dry Thursday today. Dry Thursday afternoon today, at least.
There's an advert on the TV at the moment where you can dial in, and this is part of the fitness thing for January, I guess, because it seems to be cascading over every channel, is that you're part of the peloton on your little bike at home on your own, and some motivational person in Edinburgh or whatever is shouting out to feel the burn and all the rest of it. I really couldn't be doing that. It's just too much like hard work. And linking Dry January with Veganuary and saving... I
wasn't going to do that just yet.
Well, for me, before we do segue into that, if you can't be bothered to sort of look after your own body, the world's not going to mean a lot to you either. No,
true. That's a very good point, actually. A couple of interesting things I found online, though, was on YouTube, which is a bit sort of sobering, really. One of the videos was called Alcoholism and Dry January, 10 Things to be Thinking About. I think
alcohol not being one of them,
if
hopefully.
You're an alcoholic, there's probably only one thing to be thinking about during Dry January.
Getting on your hands on another tinny.
And the other one was part of a series, Dry January as an alcoholic. How are you feeling on day 5? Which I'd imagine is a very short video.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Shaky.
Yeah. Dry January, unless you go to the Daily Star, which will actually, as usual, kind of ratchet up the pressure and say, Dry January will kill pubs, which hasn't happened yet. It's all pretty mediocre stuff, really, isn't it? Long-term benefits and might be good for you, might be bad for you.
But I want something immediate, like everything, because today is a very immediate society.
That's why you should have Dry Thursday. You get the immediate benefits of having Thursday afternoon off alcohol.
Well, don't forget already, because we've got... Stoptober, we've got actually 2 months out of the 12 where you can be alcohol free.
Yeah.
And this is sort of becoming...
It's all voluntary, by the way, Sean. You do know that.
I thought
you can be alcohol free in March if you want.
I thought it was a legal requirement.
No, and you don't have to limit it to the 2 months. Actually, to look at bbcgoodfood.com because they had an article entitled Dry January Benefits and Drawbacks. And like with anything like this, I thought, good, let's find out some drawbacks to kind of make myself feel a bit better about not doing it. But there aren't any. They didn't have any drawbacks. They were all advantages and benefits.
Well, perhaps did they just leave that piece off? They forgot to write that bit? Or?
I think the drawbacks, the corporate pressure didn't allow them to print them because I think that what's going on here is, I wouldn't go as far as calling it a conspiracy, but there's definitely a bit of a marketing scene for non-alcoholic...
Oh, man.
Non-alcoholic drinks, particularly. The most excruciating fad at the moment is gin. I've seen people in the pub recently tasting different gins before they buy them, which isn't a bad idea. Well, because you get in Britain, actually, you get in pretty much a full measure of taste, isn't it?
Exactly. Gin is fun. I mean, I am.
Gins are so trendy. That's what I mean. It's become so trendy. It's driving me up the wall. Gin is something you should drink at home on your own,
and then weep.
Yeah, and
weep uncontrollably.
Not with excruciatingly expensive fizzy drinks like Fever Tree tonic water in a Ponzi gin parlour in Peckham or something like that.
I'm sort of with you on that, but that is better than what they're suggesting for these top alcohol-free drinks.
What, you mean these people like Seedlip, is that it?
Yeah.
I like this because they say they've disrupted the soft drinks industry. That's a very buzzword, isn't it? Disrupted. What I'm taking that to mean, and I've found it to mean, is that they're selling extremely expensive soft drinks that no one had thought up before.
Or is it redefining what we can expect from a non-alcoholic beverage?
I don't even know what you mean by that.
Well,
I expect a lack of alcohol.
I'll tell you what I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it to weigh in, one of them, at £27.95.
That's Seedlip Grove for 70 centilitres, which is double the price of a bottle of whiskey for the same amount.
Well, and it's extraordinary.
Weirdly, it's called Master of Malt, even though it's meant to be gin.
A gin replacement.
Anyway, it's disrupting the industry, apparently.
That's disrupting my pocket.
Citrusy blend of juicy oranges, lemon peel, ginger and lemongrass. That doesn't sound like gin to me. That just sounds like a soft drink.
A few herbs thrown into water. And where you get your £27.95 whatever out of, I don't know.
It's a really nice label, isn't it?
Looks very fancy. Looks like a squirrel.
Squirrel or something, yeah. Non-alcoholic spirit. Which is good, because I should imagine it's just called spirit. They probably tried to make it taste a bit like white spirit or methylated spirit.
Trying to get that meth's taste.
Yeah, that pure spirit taste. Served with premium tonic. They're all in bed together here. What is wrong with, Morrison's 2 bottles for 48p for 2 bottles of Indian tonic water contains quinine? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. These premium tonic things are the biggest rip-off since...
Well, this new one. Garnish with rosemary. Just as you would with your favourite gin.
There's some ginger beer. That's just ginger beer, isn't it? Then that's not even non-alcoholic, this pale ale, because it's 0.5. That's like that Heineken and Caliber and all that stuff.
Well, it's a little bit like, do you remember the double bass, was it double bass? Double bass shandy.
Yeah.
That you used to get.
Play on words they had.
It is,
yeah. Are you sure it was called that?
Well, I don't know.
I think it was just called Bass Shandy, mate.
Bass Shandy.
You're getting it mixed up with double bass.
But you could buy it in your local chippy, and when you're a kid, it was quite exciting.
But then the most expensive one, Silk Tree, I see that's got alcohol in it as well. 0.5% gin.
Well, that's a lot of £28 bottles.
Isn't it?
To get a buzz on.
It's outrageous, yeah. It's a bit like drinking Rolling Rock. You have to drink a crate to feel slightly merry, don't you? Yeah. We can't be having these. This is just a huge marketing scam. What idiot is going to spend nearly 29 quid on a 0.5% bottle of gin?
And the interesting thing is that...
These people have marketed all this crud on the back of Dry January, which is actually meant to be a kind of a serious endeavour, isn't it? I mean, it is trademarked by Alcohol Concern, not Sainsbury's. Well, maybe they're all jumping on the wagon.
Well, maybe Alcohol Concern is a Trojan horse for beverage companies who are just very concerned that not enough alcohol has been drunk.
Possibly, yeah, because it's meant to be. What was that article we was reading where it says it could be detrimental to those trying to give up drinking because they think they've had some sort of detox and they'd be okay to go back out on the lash on the 1st of February.
Well, the nice thing about it was they said it's a little bit like if you gave up spending on your credit cards, if you're somebody that normally maxes out on them, and that you gave up and lived like a hermit for just 1 month, that you'd suddenly cured the problem.
Don't clear the debt, does it?
No, it doesn't clear the debt.
These drinks are these vegan burgers. I had one of these the other day, you know, the ones that are meant to bleed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh, no.
Some gunge came out of
Oh,
it. It's beetroot juice.
Oh, that's
Have you not heard about that?
No.
Really, because some gunge came out. I put it on a tray in the oven, you know, and when I took it out, some purple juice had sort of bled out of it.
Oh.
It didn't taste like blood. It didn't taste like a burger either.
Who makes that?
Aldi, I think.
Well,
anyway, it's very nice, but it didn't taste like meat. Not that I don't want it to taste like meat. I want it to taste like a veggie burger, which it did.
Well, there's a weird one because a lot of the local pubs around my area are Young's, and you know they've got the usual pub grub that pubs don't seem to be for drinking anymore.
I think I know what you're going to mention here. Yeah, I read about this. Yeah,
it's a pretty appalling thing that they are doing cauliflower steaks, which is a bit of a hard one to get your head round anyway.
I make them at home.
Do you? Okay, well, next time I'm round at your place, I hope you don't charge me £14 a pop.
I do a very nice Chinese version.
Do you?
Yeah, with 5 spice and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But would you charge £14 for it?
No, I wouldn't.
And would you pay £14 in a pub?
It's a shocking proposition, 14 quid for a bit of cauliflower. But, you know, to be fair to Young's, I mean, I don't want to be fair to them. At first they said they were keeping it going, they were going to forge on with it, but now they've pulled it from the menu after the modern day cliche having listened to the feedback.
Yeah.
So good for them. They've owned up to the fact they were absolutely ripping people off, and you can't argue with that.
One thing that we need to mention about Veganuary is how the face of veganism has changed so much.
Well, we used to have to go to a Crass gig to meet a vegan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Crass.
I do remember Crass.
Punk group.
Yeah.
Everyone wore slightly smelly old clothes and was very angry, and the band's shows had images, videos of factory farming behind them. But it was such an earnest, worthy thing, like a crusade.
What was that thing when they were protesting in Brixton? The kids weren't really massively down with the look.
Well, no, with the swampy style, you know.
Yeah.
Some young girl was interviewed on TV and said, "What do you think about this?" And she said, "I think they should go home and have a bath."
Which is different now because...
I don't know if that was a vegan protest. That could have been climate change or...
Same people. Whereas
You're
now...
going to lump them all in, yeah.
The interesting thing about Veganuary is that it's gone a bit happy-clappy. It's all sort of like this fantastic lifestyle. Beyonce and Jay-Z are embracing it. And
plant-based diet they're on. That's not quite the same thing as... You notice they've chosen their words very carefully there. He is a wordsmith. He probably said to Beyonce, plant-based diet. I'm the wordsmith and I know exactly how we should phrase this.
Which means that the plants could go inside the cow and then be slaughtered, and that would be a plant-based diet.
I didn't mean it that extreme, but
okay.
You know, it could be plant-based and embellished with other non-plant items, couldn't it? Never mind dry January. This Veganuary thing has been all over the media. It particularly Piers Morgan has put it all over the media. He's had a right go at Greggs for their vegan sausage rolls, which completely backfired on him. And looking at YouTube videos of Good Morning Britain, he never shuts up about it. He drags vegans on, right? I've just watched videos of him with 3 different lots of vegans. 3 militant female vegans who looked a bit as militant as Bagpuss.
They seemed very sweet, those 3 girls.
They were nice, yeah.
He's having a right rant at them.
He was, yeah.
Like
saying they should go home and protest outside their parents' dinner table.
Like some drunk uncle around Christmas, you know?
Then he had the guy on who he dug up some criminal conviction that years ago the guy had a pump action shotgun he was caught with. Well, that's a militant vegan if you ask me.
I'd say.
And then he had there was another one as well, wasn't he? He had 3 lots anyway. The guy, he was going, we've had enough of this vegan terrorism. I think Piers is putting a bit strongly there. He's upset about the sausage rolls, which aren't sausage rolls anyway.
No, they're vegan.
Well, they're made with corn, which means I can't eat them.
Why not?
I've got a severe allergy to corn that makes me projectile vomit. And you don't know you do know what's going to happen now because you've eaten the corn, but the first 2 or 3 times...
It was like a shock.
It happened on public transport. It was very embarrassing. The first time I threw up all over a couple sitting opposite me. It was only after the 3rd time I put it together, and then I found out that there's thousands of people with this reaction to corn.
Wow.
Class action lawsuit against the makers.
Isn't it just like a mushroom?
Some sort of fungus type product.
Yeah.
It's not very nice, to be honest.
So, but the person that I was amazed with on some of these YouTube videos about veganism and all the rest of it is that it doesn't seem that you're allowed to go onto a program and talk as a vegan. Somebody always has to come on as like an anti-vegan.
That's balance, mate, isn't it?
Well, if I was talking about veganism, wouldn't it be just nice to hear someone's point of view about it?
There's a very good website, Veganuary.com, which is...
Yeah, I checked that out.
Did you look at the recipes? Do you like these recipes?
Listen, I don't have to have half a boar in my head, on tearing, huge lumps of meat off carcasses.
Got delicious vegan recipes from all over the world. The first one is British vegan recipes, which is probably the last one you'd want to go to. We're talking British food. British non-vegan recipes are never that exciting anyway, are they? Coronation chickpea sandwich. Vegan fish-free fish fingers.
No.
See, this is the thing that's all... I know it's been said, but, I don't want fish-free fish. I'm prepared to just get rid of the fish fingers entirely.
Well, I'm still...
They're not even in... Fish fingers aren't even a food. Vegan sausage roll, that's the third one on it. They've run out of ideas, and then the next thing is what you always get given at Christmas. Mushroom and chestnut Wellington. British vegan recipes have got a long way to go.
Roast potatoes on their own.
With pesto. They're not just roast potatoes. That's not a recipe, is it? That's just roast potatoes with a pesto on them.
But I tell you what I've noticed, Robin, about all this Veganuary.
Fully loaded chicken pie. Chicken style pie. Guess what it's fully loaded with? Pomegranate and quinoa. This isn't going to convert people, right? What's going to convert people is what you were saying, the happy, clappy, trendy Jay-Z,
yeah,
Beyonce,
absolutely.
Save the planet, save the whales. I mean, you don't save whales, but they're included in the saving the whales, aren't they?
And, yeah, I think so. The interesting thing is what sort of media support is behind this. And when you see even the Evening Standard, which is a London-based evening paper, doing 11 foods that are accidentally vegan.
Accidentally vegan?
Yeah,
what do they mean by that?
Well, it's bizarre.
Well, anything that's not...
It's just vegan.
It's just vegan, not accident.
Yeah,
what are the foods that are accidentally vegan?
Okay, there's a little bit of a problem here.
Pot noodle.
So, yeah, pot noodle. Apparently even the beef and tomato and piri-piri chicken is vegan.
I could have told you that, mate. It's never been near a chicken in its life, that sort of thing.
But here we go.
Smoky bacon crisps, isn't it?
So while the HuffPost were doing these fantastic recipes, what the Evening Standard did was these 11 everyday foods, which included, there was a theme here.
I'll tell you the theme is here. PR officers for these accidentally vegan foods phoning up the Standard saying the food's accidentally vegan.
Ritz crackers, Pringles.
This is a right healthy list.
Oh, it's a massively healthy list. You'd be doing well on this. McCoy's crisps, Fox's party rings, peanut butter.
I haven't had a Fox's party ring. You know what? I think I turned down a Fox's party ring a few years ago because I thought it wasn't vegan.
Well,
it wasn't vegetarian.
Well, it's accidentally vegan, mate.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, your pot noodles.
What's that other one on your list? Beef and tomato. That
that's
can't be accidentally vegan.
Well, it's only combined with pot noodle.
Oh, right, okay, I see. Many, many years ago, I mean, I've known vegans for a long time, but it used to be quite easy.
Some of your best friends vegans?
Yeah, it used to be quite... there's no but attached to that. It used to be easy to be a vegan if you didn't go to work, because you could spend all your day cooking chickpeas and things like that. But there wasn't anything in the shops. I had a colleague who was at work, who'd worked full time with me, and I said, how do you do this? And he looked a bit glum about it, and he opened his little lunchbox and he went, just the peanut butter sandwiches every day.
Which peanut butter is on the list of accidentally vegan food.
Yeah, but nowadays the aisles of the supermarkets are stuffed with
M&S
bleeding vegan meals.
Yeah, well, M&S is launching a vegan range, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
What's in it?
Hopefully not meat.
You don't know, do you?
Hopefully not meat. I'd say that'd be the first thing.
Well, good for Marks and Spencer's, I say. Whatever's in their bleeding vegan range. Again, I feel like there's a lot of people just cashing in. I mean, Greggs is... For all the admirable nature of the actual fact that Greggs sell a vegan sausage roll, they used to sell vegetarian stuff anyway. And... the way they advertise it with the Apple-style trendy advertising, the whole thing was just a massive gimmick. I don't even know if it would have taken off without Piers Morgan.
However, there is a little bit of Chaucer in this for me. Canterbury Tales.
I've never read that.
Okay. Well, there's one called The Pardoner's Tale, and he's a corrupt employee of the church who sells indulgences or forgiveness to people. And that's how he
sells it?
Yeah. And he knows it's totally corrupt.
Well, that's pretty...
Yeah, he used to be able to. Yeah, he used to be able to sort of like pay off, 25 quid, and that was it. You were free of sin. And the interesting twist, that
That's
Chaucer...
good. Can you still do that?
Yeah, I think you can, yeah.
Can we get and meet one of these partners? You reckon 25 quid? Or would it
maybe.
be more these days?
Well, you still sort of do that in a way in churches where they do confession,
Well,
because...
I don't go to confession. You do, though.
No, of course I do, yeah, every Wednesday and Saturday.
All Catholics do, don't
Yeah, we do, yeah.
You can never get it out of your system, can you?
No,
It's just ingrained in you, so you don't.
just that guilt you have
It's
all
very
your
easy
life.
to give up Protestantism because it's just giving up a vicar with an acoustic guitar trying to lull you into a sense of fun, you know.
But the interesting twist on the Pardoner's Tale was that he knew it was a complete scam and all the rest of it, and he was doing it for profit.
Pardoner did.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
But the people were deriving benefit from it. So it's a little bit like this Greg's thing, is that although it might be a marketing person being, leading this...
Is this virtue signalling?
Yeah, basically. But for profit.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Piers Morgan promoted this thing, though. I don't think it would have taken off so big without him, really. He can't leave anything alone, can he? A friend of mine put on Twitter, as a Guardian reading feminist vegan with pink hair, I've been waiting for this for years. Thanks, Greg's official. I'll be buying one today. Would not have known about it without your advertising at Piers Morgan. Could he leave that alone?
No, he can't.
No, he had to retweet it and say, is anyone in Brighton not now a Guardian reading feminist vegan with pink hair? He's got some massive issues.
Well, he's just extraordinary that you can just dangle any piece of bait and it doesn't have to be meat-based or vegetable-based.
Exactly,
And-
any bait.
Yeah, and he'll just chomp straight on it.
I think Piers might be worthy of a podcast in his own right at some point, don't you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. He's an interesting medium.
Incredible. But yeah. But the other thing I was going to say, which we didn't cover as a sort of like juxtaposition to Veganuary, was last year. It didn't get as much publicity, did it? Veganuary last year.
No, it's massive this year.
However, the Milk Marketing Board, whoever it is now...
Is it the Milk Marketing
No, it can't
Board?
be. I think that was dissolved.
That goes
wasn't
back
it?
to the 60s, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
But
Some kind of dairy promoting organisation.
did February.
February.
February. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Maybe that's why it didn't take off.
So I see it didn't take off because it's not around this year.
No,
is
this
it?
year they've given up. Although,
They opened a Twitter account according to this here.
which they claimed had 19 million impressions.
Impressions don't count for anything, as you well know. It's only clicks that matter, mate.
Yeah.
Well, they stopped last July, didn't
So
they?
obviously it didn't really click, did it?
Eat loads of dairy. It's so deliberately antagonistic to Veganuary that people are going to just see through it. It's almost like a call to join in cruelty.
Wait.
It's kind of pointing up that we produce non-cruelty free products. Come and try some. You've had your detox, you've had your Veganuary, you've had your dry January. Come on, get stuck into some cruelty inclusive products from us. It's not going to work, is it?
Well, it was interesting when Piers, don't want to spend too much more time speaking about
this will be the
Piers.
last bit.
He took such great offence to these three young female feminists. These three young female...
Slip there, I think.
It was, yeah, it was, basically.
These feminists.
But he was saying, what's wrong with cows out in a field being milked and all the rest of it?
I
And
think you'll find they're not out in a field being milked.
what's a little bit more involved than that, the production of milk,
Yes.
which I don't know if a lot of people know.
Piers doesn't let that get into the way of a good argument, though, does
No.
he? He'll just drag up some old facts about a pump-action shotgun and forget all about the...
And drop in some big sort of bombs like vegan terrorism.
Yeah,
And does your mother eat turkey? Does she? Answer the question.
Anyway, veganism's pretty mild, really. I used to know a fruitarian. Do you know about that?
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, she was perfectly well, though. People used to say they would, you're going to die if you do that.
Well, it's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Just eating food that
Fruit
falls
that has fallen.
of its own accord.
Now, where I find...
Although I often think fruit may not have their own accord. But I can see the point.
might have been a wind-based fall.
Well, the problem with the whole vegan thing is that an uncomfortable truth that it raises is that most alcohol, talking of dry January, never mind vegan, it isn't vegetarian.
It's got that,
It's made
what's
with
it
some
called?
stuff out of a fish. Which might explain the taste of that pint I had the other night in King's Arms in Poland Street. Because that
Was pretty grim, I believe.
Rotten fishy, yeah. Well, apparently all you can drink is German and Belgian beer.
Okay.
Stella and Beck's.
Not after Brexit, mate.
More appalling advertising here, though, because this article, which I'm not sure where I got this from, but believe me, it was in an article, rekindle your love of vegan beer brands Stella and Beck's. That can't be the only. These are just the two that have got in for a bit of product placement, aren't they? I mean, they might be vegan beers, Stella and Beck's, but they're, given how glamorous Veganuary has become, they're not the world's most glamorous beverages, are they?
Well, considering that Stella was unrefreshingly referred to as wife beater, no.
Oh, lovely that was, yeah.
As we said, it's not exactly Beyonce and Jay-Z glamorous, is it?
It's not, no, I don't think they get tanked up on Stella over a weekend.
Well, you'd hope not.
I don't even know if Jay-Z and Beyonce are glamorous anymore. Aren't they a bit passé?
I don't know, but I think Solange may have been tanked up on Stella when she had a bit of a go at husband beating.
Not surprising we're slightly sceptical about all this if it is the ultimate in new glamour, because we're not the ultimate in new glamour, are we, Sean?
No, well, we'll have moved on to the next most glamorous thing by the time this runs out of gas. Yeah, February, exactly.
I think they should leave that till March next time. Give people a bit of time to cool off, you know.
Fair enough.
And anyway, I think that's probably enough about dry January, Veganuary, and time to go to the pub for a pint.
Yeah, and maybe a cauliflower steak at £14 a pop.
Before we go, though, we could just like to say thanks for listening.
Yep.
Listen again. Get in touch with us. You can do that via the website or Twitter, which is @review_modern. Sorry, It's the wrong way round. And you can listen on YouTube. You can listen on Facebook, even, or for older style podcast type people,
iTunes and Spotify.
And I think that's it. See you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.